Welcome to Episode 1 of the Fallen Phoenix Deep Dive. Today, we begin our journey through Book 1, covering chapters 1 through 3. The story opens in chaos, with wings, fire, and an escape that sets everything in motion. Join your hosts, Caelum and Lyra, as they unravel the origin of a myth and the rise of a hunted flame.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take source material, could be anything really, and just pull it apart. Find the good bits, the surprising stuff.
Yeah, kind of get under the hood, see what makes it tick.
Exactly. Think of it as your way to get up to speed without doing all the homework yourself. We try to find those details that stick with you, maybe shift your perspective a bit.
And today, we've got something new on the table. We're cracking open Fallen Phoenix. It's by WTP Markwalder.
Right, Fallen Phoenix. And this isn't just a standalone book, is it?
No, that's key. This is actually the first book, planned 5-book series. So what we're doing today, it's really just dipping our toes in. The very beginning of something potentially huge.
Okay, so just the very start. And for this deep dive, we're keeping it tight. We're looking only at the first 3 chapters. That's it.
And believe me, those first 3 chapters, they pack a punch. It's not a gentle introduction.
Not at all. It feels like you're just dropped right into the middle of the action. You meet these characters, see these incredible things happen, and bam, mysteries everywhere.
So the plan today really is just to set that initial scene, figure out the conflict, who the main players seem to be right off the bat, what's immediately at stake.
It's intense. Like you said, a real baptism by fire, sometimes literally.
Yeah, you could say that.
And just so you, the listener, know this is only part 1 of our look at Fallen Phoenix. We'll definitely be coming back to it, breaking down the rest of the book, piece by piece in future deep dives. Give it the time it deserves, you know?
Absolutely. This world seems pretty complex, gonna need that detailed look.
So for today, let's just focus on this opening act. Who do we meet right away?
Well, you've got the main guy, obviously. Phoenix. He's our protagonist.
Okay.
Then there's Agent Frank. Seems like the primary antagonist, at least initially.
Right.
We get a mention, just a brief one, of Rachel. Seems important to Phoenix.
Okay, Rachel.
And then there's this other figure, kind of mysterious. Shows up briefly, but hints at, like, a bigger picture.
All right, got it. Phoenix, Frank, Rachel, mystery figure. Let's dive into chapter 1 then. It starts for us.
Understatement. Chapter 1 is called In the ER, but it doesn't quite start there. It starts at the scene of this horrific accident.
Yeah, the description. It's vivid. You got the smell of burned rubber, shattered glass everywhere, just twisted metal. 2 vehicles.
A big rig, an 18-wheeler, and a black Suburban head-on collision, basically.
And the way it's described, the force involved must have been immense. The truck apparently flipped, trying to stop.
And crushed the smaller car.
Yeah.
And that detail, a trail of blood flowing from the smaller one, it sets a really grim tone immediately. Like, how could anyone survive that?
And that's our introduction to Phoenix, isn't it? He's the one in that smaller car.
He is. He gets pulled from the wreckage and brought to St. Johnson Memorial Hospital. But here's the first, major weirdness.
The doctor's opinion.
Exactly. The doctor looks at the crash, looks at Phoenix, and basically says, he shouldn't be alive, period.
Not just shouldn't be alive, but he comes in with a strong pulse. And the injuries, okay, broken ribs, punctured lung, those are bad.
But compared to that impact, it doesn't compute. The doctor literally uses the word miracle.
Which immediately flags him, right? This isn't just luck. There's something fundamentally different about this guy.
And we don't have to wait long to find out just how different. While they're treating him in the ER, things go sideways. Fast.
The wings.
The wings, large wings, just violently erupt from his back.
Violently. That description is key. It sounds painful, shocking. The staff are described as being in awe and horror, just frozen.
Totally understandable reaction, right? You're treating a car crash victim, and suddenly, wings, it confirms he's way beyond human.
And it doesn't stop there. There's more happening.
Right, the necklace. One of the nurses spots this necklace he's wearing. As the wings come out, it starts glowing really brightly.
And then the air.
Yeah, the air starts swirling around him. Powerful currents. Strong enough that the source mentions it unbuckles the restraints holding him on the gurney. Like an unseen force.
Telekinesis. Energy manipulation. Something powerful linked to that necklace.
Seems like it. And his body actually lifts off the table. He's just floating there, suspended in this swirling wind and light. It's total chaos.
So, wings, glowing necklace, floating. This is way beyond a normal ER situation.
And somewhere in all this, the hospital computers finally process his info. There was a barcode apparently, and an alarm goes off.
So the system flags him somehow.
Seems like it. The medical staff, obviously terrified, they bail. They evacuate the room, doors lock automatically, containing the phenomenon.
And that's when the other group arrives.
Yep, the men in black. Black suits, white shirts, thin black ties, sunglasses. Very specific look.
Very official but secretive. They find the head surgeon, who's probably still trying to process seeing wings sprout from a patient.
Yeah, the lead agent, he's very calm, asks the surgeon what he saw. And the doctor, kind of numbly, just says it. I saw wings erupt from a man's back.
Wow. Just lays it out there.
The agent confirms details, no one else in the car. It was the 18-wheeler crash. The truck driver claims they lost control trying to avoid Phoenix's car. Standard procedure almost, despite the circumstances.
And he checks again about the survival chances, right?
Right.
Gets that confirmation about it being a miracle.
He does, and when the doctor finally asks, "Who are you people? What's going on?" the agent gives a very careful answer.
What does he say?
He calls Phoenix an outlaw of sorts. We've been looking for him for some time now, but that's it. That's all I can tell you, Doctor.
An outlaw. Okay, so Phoenix isn't just unusual, he's actively being hunted by this group, who seem prepared for this kind of thing.
Definitely prepared. They clear the hallway, and crucially, the source mentions the security cameras in that area go off.
Turned up. So they have the ability to manipulate hospital systems, or they have protocols for this.
Yeah.
Very efficient, very clandestine.
Extremely. The lead agent unlocks the ER bay doors where Phoenix is still floating, power swirling, air blasts out into the hall.
And then the old man comes in.
Right. Not another agent in a suit. This guy's different. Dark blue robe, carrying an old leather book with red writing. Looks ancient.
Definitely not standard issue. The wind from Phoenix's power is whipping his robe around.
And he pulls out this thing. A metal disc. Unusual carvings on it, the source names it. The sacred metal of Neuron.
Metal of Neuron.
Okay. He holds it up towards Phoenix, and it works. Instantly. The wind dies down, Phoenix lowers back onto the table, the necklace stops glowing, his power is just shut off.
So this metal is like a specific countermeasure, kryptonite for Phoenix, basically.
Seems like it. Something ancient, maybe magical, that can neutralize his specific abilities. Once he's down, more guys in black suits rush in, guns drawn.
And the old man gets cocky?
Oh, yeah! Looks pleased with himself, says in this cold, raspy voice, "Get up, fool, you've lost."
But Phoenix, he's not done yet, is he?
Not even close. He opens his eyes for the first time since the crash, and the source says his tone is cheerful.
Cheerful after all that. That's unsettling.
Totally. He even says something like, doing so well too, acknowledging the metal worked, but then the tone shakes. He warns the old man.
What does he say?
He identifies the old man as basically the only one they could find who knew about the metal and how to use it, implying the knowledge is rare. And then he says the old man won't live to tell about how he defeated the great Phoenix, with a smirk.
Oof. That's cold. The old man just brushes it off though, right? Thinks he's won.
Yeah, he thinks Phoenix is powerless. Says even lead bullets can kill him now. Big mistake.
Because Phoenix has another surprise.
A huge one. He points out all the blood on the floor, his blood from his injuries. It's everywhere, even stained the old man's robe.
And when the old man is like, so what, it's just blood? Phoenix drops the bombshell.
My blood is rather flammable.
Flammable blood? Just let that sink in a hospital room.
Insane power. And incredibly dangerous in that context. He pulls out a lighter.
Oh man, the agents must be freaking out.
They are. The lead agent yells for everyone to hold, shouts that Phoenix is bluffing.
And this is where we get the agent's name right.
Yep. Phoenix looks right at him and says, "Am I Frank? Do you really think I'm bluffing here?" So this is Agent Frank, the guy in charge on the ground.
And Phoenix lays out the stakes. He's bleeding, can't heal without his powers, so more flammable blood keeps spilling. He drops the lighter.
Everyone burns. Except him. He claims once the metal is destroyed in the fire, he'll get his powers back instantly and walk out fine.
But it's not just about escaping. He adds another threat, doesn't he? About Frank's organization.
He does. He says something like, "I'm sure you don't want that to happen, not with all I know about your society." He threatens to expose them, reveal whatever secrets he knows to the world, says their society wouldn't last long.
Society. Not agency, not government. Society. That's interesting phrasing. And Frank is clearly rattled by this.
Visibly enraged, yeah. But he tries to play it cool, tries psychological warfare.
He argues Phoenix wouldn't risk killing innocents in the hospital fire. because of the oxygen pipes, the potential devastation.
Right. Frank frames it as Phoenix ruining his chance for redemption, tries to paint him as someone who cares about that stuff.
But Phoenix just rejects that whole idea.
Completely. Calls Frank's attempt clever, but basically says he doesn't need or want their society's acceptance or redemption. He declares he'll rise again on his own accord, while their society crumbles from its own hypocrisy.
And then he calls Frank out on that hypocrisy, right? About murder.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Phoenix mentions 3 accounts of murder of the 4th kind that he supposedly committed, which Frank calls unacceptable.
Murder of the 4th kind. What does that even mean?
The source doesn't explain it, but Phoenix points out that Frank's society accepted 2 previous instances of this type of murder. They even celebrated the killers as heroes.
Whoa. So this society has its own internal morality, where some killing is okay, even heroic, but Phoenix's actions aren't.
Exactly. Phoenix says he doesn't view any murder as heroic. It paints the society as having some seriously twisted values, and raises huge questions about what this 4th kind is and why their rules are so specific and self-serving.
Man. Okay, so after dropping that bombshell,
He makes his move, drops the lighter,
and the room just goes up?
instantly, just like you said, an inferno.
Yeah.
And crucially, the metal of Neuron falls into the fire, destroyed,
Yeah, Phoenix.
walks right out of the fire unharmed as if nothing happened. The source is very clear on that.
Just walks out.
His wings fold back in, retract. A new black silk shirt forms on him from the fire.
From the fire. Okay, that's another level of power.
Right. Then he calmly hits the sprinklers, adding to the chaos, walks out into the hall, puts on sunglasses he didn't have before.
Where'd the sunglasses come from?
No idea, just appears with them, and vanishes into the night as the fire trucks start arriving. Total mic drop escape.
What about Frank?
Frank gets out too, mostly unharmed but furious. He's immediately on his phone, reporting the failure.
To his superior.
Confirms Phoenix escaped, they had the metal, but it's gone. Destroyed.
And the old man.
Didn't make it. Frank reports, the old man didn't survive. Neither did his book. That ancient book he was carrying is gone too. A double loss for them, the artifact and the knowledge.
The superior must be livid.
Oh, you hear it. Demanding Frank catch Phoenix, Frank promises he will, hangs up, and walks towards a black limo that's waiting.
And there's someone in the limo.
A final hint. A shadowy figure waiting inside, suggesting Frank's superior isn't the top dog. There are layers to this organization.
Wow. Okay, chapter 1, intense. Sets up Phoenix, his powers, the society hunting him, Agent Frank, the metal. A lot to unpack.
Absolutely. Phoenix is powerful, defiant, no secrets. Frank is ruthless, part of this hidden hypocritical group. The stakes are high from the get-go.
All right, so after that explosive exit, chapter 2 changes pace a bit. Dangerous flight. Where do we find Phoenix now?
We find him reacting to the news coverage of the hospital fire. He sees a report blaming it on an unknown chemical and a short-circuit the official cover story.
And he's not happy about it.
Not at all. He smashes the TV with a black bladed dagger he apparently just
Had dagger. Okay. More hidden skills. His reaction, though, it shows his frustration.
Yeah, he mutters about it being his blood, not some chemical. But he also gets it. Well, I suppose they have to tell the public something. He knows they'll lie to cover their tracks. Cynical but realistic about how they operate.
And he's not alone when this happens, is he? This is where Rachel comes in.
Exactly. The source clarifies this. The woman who walks in with tea while he's raging, that's Rachel. She's the one he's talking to in this chapter.
Okay, good clarification. And she brings him tea.
Black rose petal tea says it always helps to calm you down. It shows a closeness, a familiarity. She knows him.
So they have a history. While he's drinking the tea, he's looking through some papers.
Yeah, seems like he's investigating, trying to understand things. He finds a drawing of the metal of Neuron, with writing about it.
The thing that stopped him.
Right, and reading about it makes him furious all over again. He drops the paper, and it just bursts into flames on the way down. Spontaneous combustion triggered by anger.
His connection to fire seems pretty strong, and tied to his emotions. He throws the dagger again, too.
He does. Mrs. Rachel, who calls him on it calmly. But then they talk seriously about the metal. Phoenix tells her, they found it. Discovered how to use it against me today.
Rachel is surprised, thinking it was destroyed.
Yeah, which leads Phoenix to speculate. Maybe there wasn't just one. I guess there were 2 of them made.
2 metals. Oh. That's bad news. The organization gets their hands on another one.
Exactly. It raises the stakes considerably, and Phoenix points the finger directly at Agent Frank for the hospital incident, believes Frank organized the whole thing.
He's really zeroed in on Frank.
Yeah.
And he's tired of being hunted. He also wonders where Frank got to after the fire.
And Rachel's response is interesting. She just says Frank has a job to do. Very pragmatic, almost like she understands Frank's role in this hidden world, maybe knows him or knows of him.
Adds a layer, definitely. The source mentions some romantic tension too, but he leaves alone in the end.
Yeah, a hint of something more, but his focus is clearly elsewhere right now. He leaves and steps out onto a balcony. It's midnight and a storm is brewing.
And the storm isn't just weather, is it? It connects to him somehow.
Seems deeply connected. As the rain gets heavier and lightning flashes, his eyes start glowing orange.
Orange eyes this time. Okay.
And his wings burst out again, ripping his shirt. Another painful-sounding transformation, but this time linked to the storm's energy.
And he flies into it.
Right into the heart of the storm. The source says he's seeking energy and mental clarity.
So storms literally recharge him, give him power and focus.
That's what it looks like. It's not just a backdrop, it's a source for him, a way to center himself after everything that happened.
Okay, so chapter 2 gives us more insight into Phoenix's state of mind, his relationship with Rachel, the potential threat of a second metal, and this really cool connection to storms deepens the character quite a bit.
For sure. It shows he's not just reacting, he's processing, planning, and drawing power from unexpected places.
Which leads us nicely into chapter 3, on trial. And the perspective shifts dramatically here.
Completely. Now we're focused on Agent Frank. And he's in trouble.
He's facing his superior after the hospital escape. The description is pretty imposing. Big office, frosted glass doors.
And the superior is described as a large, shadowy man, and he is furious.
Absolutely raging, yelling about the money's bet. Millions of dollars of my dollars trying to catch Phoenix. Calls the whole thing a failure, blames Frank.
Accuses Frank of treating it like a joke, threatens him, the anger is palpable.
But Frank, he's cool as a cucumber, isn't he?
Weirdly calm. Peering over his sunglasses, his replies are super short, almost mocking. In this order, yes, yes, and yes. Just defiant.
That calm defiance seems to push the superior over the edge.
It does. The superior does something completely unexpected. He pulls a gun.
And shoots Frank, point blank, in the chest.
Yeah, just shoots him.
But this is where we find out about Frank, isn't it?
This is the big reveal for Frank. He looks down at the bullet hole, looks where the bullet hit the floor. There's blood at first.
But then it just fades.
Fades away. He stands up, brushes off his jacket like nothing happened, and his eyes start glowing bright blue.
Blue eyes. So Frank isn't human either. He heals instantly, regenerates.
Looks like it. Full-on supernatural abilities. Just like Phoenix in a way, but different manifestations. He's one of them, hunting his own kind, seemingly. The superior is stunned, drops his gun, fumbles for an alarm.
Too late, though.
Way too late. Frank moves instantly, grabs the superior by the throat, lifts him up effortlessly.
The description is pretty graphic.
Yeah. Fat from the man's neck spill over onto Agent Frank's hand. Face turns dark red. Frank snaps his neck, basically. Kills his own boss. Just like that.
Ruthless. It shows how brutal this organization is internally. Power and results are everything.
Absolutely. Frank then walks out calmly into the empty lobby. It's after midnight now.
Steps out into the rain.
And just like Phoenix, he transforms. Arches his back, looks like it hurts, and two large dark blue wings rip out of his back, tearing his suit.
Dark blue wings. Okay, so winged beings aren't unique to Phoenix. They're in the hunting organization too.
Seems that way. And Frank immediately takes off, flying into the night. Still has a smile on his face, the source notes, despite the pain, despite killing his boss.
As he's flying, gaining height, the storm is still going on.
Lightning flashes, and in that flash, he sees something. Just for a split second.
What does he see?
Another being with wings flying below him.
Phoenix.
Possibly. Probably. But Frank dismisses it, thinks it's just the storm or the dark playing tricks on his eyes.
He lands on a rooftop miles away.
Mhm.
Wings retract, again, painfully. He's standing there, catching his breath.
And he's not alone. A door opens on the roof.
The woman in the suit.
Tall woman, black business suit, clearly part of the organization, and she's not happy with him.
What did she say? She knows he killed the boss.
Oh yeah. Tells him straight up, they aren't pleased with your actions tonight. Says killing the superior was not necessary. There are rules, apparently, even for guys like Frank.
Frank's defiant, though, right? Says they can just get him a new handler.
Yeah, he's arrogant. Says the world is full of them. But she confirms, yes, a new one will be assigned, but she warns him, try not to kill this one or you will be removed.
So he's on thin ice. He boasts, though, says no one can track Phoenix like him.
Thinks he's indispensable, knows how Phoenix thinks, all that.
And then she drops the real bombshell.
The killer line. She says, they do now.
Meaning?
Meaning, the person who was tailing Frank all night, his potential replacement, that person did see the winged figure below Frank, saw Phoenix clearly, staring up at Frank before ducking below the clouds.
Whoa. So Frank missed him, but the Watcher didn't.
Exactly. Frank is stunned, furious he was being tailed, furious he missed Phoenix. The woman twists the knife, saying his tracking methods are no good now, obsolete. This new hunter has better ways.
That's gotta sting. Frank starts to argue.
Starts with bull, but she cuts him right off. Watch your tongue. Puts him in his place.
He just storms off then.
Yeah.
Beaten.
Pretty much. Mumbling about miserable new breeds. Clearly shaken that he's potentially being replaced by someone better, maybe a different type of being or hunter within their society.
And there's that little bit right at the end of chapter 3 about Anastasia.
Yeah, it's a quick transition. A slender, red-headed woman, Anastasia, feels like she's being watched. Her pupils swirl another hint of powers, maybe perception, and it notes she encounters Phoenix shortly after this.
So she might be connected to the Watcher. Or she is the Watcher. Or just another player.
It's unclear, but it definitely reinforces the idea that Frank was being watched, that there are other players with abilities, and links directly back to the woman's warning on the rooftop. Someone saw Phoenix when Frank didn't.
Okay, so chapter 3 is huge for Frank. Reveals his powers, his ruthlessness, the internal politics of the society, and this threat of obsolescence from a new, unseen hunter.
Absolutely. It shows the hunters are just as supernatural as the hunted, raises the stakes, shows internal conflict, and introduces this idea of new breeds or new methods coming into play. It really expands the world.
Man. Okay, so much packed into just 3 chapters. Let's try and quickly recap the key takeaways just from these first 3.
Okay, first, Phoenix. He's our protagonist. Clearly not human, survives an unsurvivable crash, has wings, energy powers tied to a necklace, flammable blood, the works. He's an outlaw running from the secret society, and he escapes their first big attempt to grab him in spectacular fashion. He's powerful, knows secrets, and is incredibly defiant.
Then Agent Frank. Starts as the human-looking enforcer, but surprise. He's also got powers, wings, regeneration, glowing blue eyes. He's ruthless, worked for the society, kills his own boss, but finds out he might be getting replaced by a better hunter who actually saw Phoenix when he didn't. Key antagonist established.
We get Rachel, briefly seen but clearly important to Phoenix. She provides comfort, seems to understand his world, hints at a deeper relationship, adds a human connection for Phoenix.
And the old man with the Medal of Neron. A temporary player, a celebrant with rare knowledge, crucial for capturing Phoenix initially, but killed in the escape, losing both the artifact and his knowledge, represented by that book.
Plus Anastasia, that final tease. Redhead, feels watched, swirling pupils, encounters Phoenix later, hints at another player, possibly the Watcher, entering the game.
And the mysteries laid out are huge. What is Phoenix really? Where do his powers come from? What's the deal with this society? Frank works for their goals, history, hierarchy. Who's the shadowy figure in the limo?
Right, and what's the history of winged beings in general? The hunters and the hunted. How does the Medal of Neron fit in? Are there really 2? What is murder of the 4th kind? So many questions just from these opening chapters.
It really is just the beginning, isn't it? We barely scratched the surface. We'll definitely need those future deep dives to dig into the rest of Fallen Phoenix, follow these threads, see how the conflict unfolds with these new players.
Absolutely. This setup is incredibly rich, lots to explore.
So listener, here's something to chew on, based only on what we've learned in these first 3 chapters. We have these beings with incredible powers, hidden from us, living among us. And they're being hunted by other powerful beings working for a secret society with its own agenda, its own dark rules. If all that is happening just beneath the surface, what does that really say about the world we think we know?
Yeah, and who are the real players, the ones pulling the strings from even deeper in the shadows, the ones we haven't even caught a glimpse of yet?
Makes you wonder what else is out there, doesn't it? Something to think about until our next deep dive.
That wraps episode 1 of the Fallen Phoenix Deep Dive. We've only just opened the gates, and already the skies are burning. Join us next time as we trace the path from trauma to transformation, one chapter at a time.